Hello, viewers. Welcome back. Lucy and I here to do a reading for you. She's being very sweet tonight. A lot going on. A lot going on. I have a new friend that I've been communicating with who I'm actually doing a reading for soon. She has a new YouTube channel called Queen's Tarot, so you guys may want to go check her out. She also does astrology, and she's been emailing me some things about astrologically what's going on, the effects of the two eclipses that we went through. Oh, we have two kitties tonight, Artie and Lucy. My two biggest ones, right? Anyway, Queen's Tarot has been emailing me about the influences of the two eclipses we had in January and how we're seeing all that bringing things out right now, and it's creating a lot of chaos around Trump. So just know that's where a lot of the energy is coming from. Astrologically, we're feeling the effects now of those eclipses. I know Maxine Taylor's another astrologer I watch. There's several on YouTube. You guys have heard me mention and talking about the effects of those solar eclipses and lunar eclipses in January. So just hang in there. It's like a really interesting time, I think. I have a few things I want to look at tonight, and I may end up doing a couple of videos, but Trump, he lost over $1 billion from 1985 to 1994. I want to take a look at where did that money come from that he lost? Ultimately, probably from banks, but where did it originate from? Where did that money come from that he lost? I am not surprised. I lived in New York in the 1980s and 90s, have watched Trump for decades. We all knew he was losing money even when he published Art of the Deal. So no big surprises there. But let's just see, where did the money come from? King of Wands. Interesting. I feel like this is investigators looking into it. So let's see. Excuse me, I have to take a sip of water. I've been doing personal readings today. My voice is a little shot, a little raspy tonight. I'm already feeling the need for clarifiers. Hang on. It's interesting. Queen of Cups, I'm feeling like it came from American banks. American banks. But the challenge is where the offers to the banks came from, where the offers of the and the gifts from agreements made with those banks came from overseas through working out details and work related things, but it came from overseas. The money ultimately came to him through negotiations with the banks, with someone from overseas funding it. He got the money when he was struggling financially, when he was about on the brink of bankruptcy numerous times. The money would come through for him, and then he'd lose it again. Money just falling all over the place is what I'm feeling here, and just an abundance of new beginnings constantly, over and over and over, new beginnings, someone bailing him out over and over from overseas. I was kind of expecting to see the emperor, maybe some of it coming from his father, but I'm feeling it came from overseas. Near future, courts are going to be all over this. They're going to be all over this. New investigations. It's going to happen rather swiftly. Big change of fortune. Big change of, well, like he doesn't have a fortune to change anymore. He's lost so much money. He's not as wealthy as he wants to make out. Here's Emperor Trump, or not Emperor Trump, King Trump, sitting on his greed and wealth, all his family money, and it's coming from dark money, and he's out in the cold. He doesn't have it. It's coming from other people. We'll be celebrating. Yeah, the fool, the thief. The fool, the thief. He's been fraudulent on his tax returns. Interesting. So, you know, it was interesting. I was watching someone on Lawrence O'Donnell tonight, and pardon me, I can't remember who it was, but he was talking about when Donald Trump had debt that the banks wrote off, like say he owed $1 million, and the bank said, oh, you know what, just forget about that, we'll forgive that. That's supposed to be reported as income. So there'll be a lot of questions about, did he report income that the banks wrote off on some of his debt? So if the bank writes off $1 million in debt, that's $1 million of income. If the bank wrote off $30 million in debt, that's 30 million in income. So it'll be kind of interesting what else comes out. So let's just ask, did the banks write off debt for Trump? I keep talking, the next question always comes to me. Did the banks write off a lot of debt for Trump back in the 80s and 90s and even into the 2000s? Has he had income from the banks writing off debt? Well, interesting. I'm picking up on Fred Trump. Hang on a second. He's telling me yes. He's telling me yes. It's funny, I haven't been feeling Fred's energy around me, but when I got ready to sit down to do this reading, I started feeling his energy around me. I may have to channel Fred Trump soon, right? Yeah, I'm so glad you guys are enjoying the channeling videos. Just know, you know, when I'm channeling what I'm bringing through from the other side, I don't necessarily agree with. It's their perspective. You know, they are different when they're on the other side, but it's their perspective of things. Doesn't mean I necessarily agree with it. And other things to note about the channeling videos, when I talk about things that happen, like the moon landing happening in Nixon's presidency. Yes, I know JFK started the moon race and the space race. It's more of a statement of facts of this is some of the events that happened during his presidency. So a lot of you like to try to correct me on certain things. There are things that came up in that video that I didn't necessarily agree with. You know, he's talking about trying to slow down the arms race. From my perspective, he was trying to say, trying to also not send so many soldiers overseas. Although we already had lost a lot in the Vietnam War, he was trying not to send them to other countries. But he did start the sale of arms to Saudi Arabia. So I have additional questions for Nixon. So even though he says he tried to slow down the arms race, or the arms, sorry, the war machine, not the arms race, the war machine, he tried to slow it down. He did sell. He was the first president to sell arms to Saudi Arabia. So I have additional questions too. So I do read your all's comments. Just know that I'm a vessel when I'm channeling. I try not to judge. I try to come from a neutral place, and it's more from their perception, not my perception. I'm just trying to relay what I'm hearing. So bear with me when I'm doing those channelings. Someone accused me of doing a eulogy at the beginning of the video, and it's like, no, it's more just trying to like say some of the things that were going on in history at the time of his presidency. So not trying to immortalize him or anything, just calling out a few of the things that happened. So, bad people can also do some good things, like the EPA and things like that. So, I just try to keep an open mind and come from a non-judgmental place. But I'm picking up on Fred Trump right now, so I think he's gonna give me a little guidance here. Sorry, I'm getting a little gabby. Did the banks write off a lot of money for Trump? Yeah. Yeah, they gave him some money. It was a charity. It was showing some benevolence to him is what I'm getting. That, okay, you know what, because we're getting all this money from overseas is what I'm hearing. We got all this money from overseas to help back some of this money we're loaning you, so we're going to be benevolent to you and write off some money. That's what I'm picking up. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Cards are having a little sense of humor tonight. Well, I keep feeling America's energy right now. It's really changing, and it's really amazing. Here's Trump winning at all cost mentality, and the banks winning at all cost mentality. The challenge is illumination on the facts. They've been doing juggling acts with the money in the past, juggling it, shifting it from here to there. Here's Trump at the root of it, the greedy merchant. You know, he's no longer the satisfied merchant. He feels greedy to me. It just feels like greed. Sitting right on top of him, justice. Crowning the reading, justice sitting right on top of him. And the banks. Here's America sitting here in the future. There's going to be more communication. There's going to be more indictments. There's going to be more swift action with all of this, showing the dirty tricks that have gone on. And it brings a new perspective to America. So that tells me some people are starting to form a different opinion about what's been going on. Some of the people that have been supporting him are starting to realize, wait a minute, like finally waking up. It's like, okay, it took this. The porn stars didn't wake you up. Okay, the money starts to wake them up. Yeah, and I feel like, here's Mueller coming up, with his testimony, offering up some more information about agreements that were made between Trump and his campaign and banks. He's gonna bring up information about the devil waiting on his money, and waiting on the votes. New York Southern District also. New York Southern District going to come into this. Yeah, there's gonna be some battles and some smoke screens put up over Russia's involvement. There's going to be in the election as well as in the money financial dealings. There's going to be some smoke screens put up, but I feel like these other districts that are investigating are going to bring more light out on some of the games the banks did. It's interesting because I'm not seeing Nancy Pelosi and her team, the Democrats' energy. I'm seeing the SDNY. So I'm going to stop there for this video. I have a few other things I want to look at. Don Jr. got subpoenaed today. McConnell said, I'll be the Grim Reaper in Twitter. Yeah, right. Like, I will be. No, you already are, McConnell, right? Anyway, crazy times. I also want to read on John Kelly. John Kelly is now on the board of directors for one of the detention centers in Florida. for the immigrant children. So we're going to be looking at that too. I've got some info on that. Didn't make a lot of news yesterday because so much other crap was going on, but hang in there, guys. It's getting good. It's actually kind of exciting because it's like things are finally tumbling out. And it's just going to snowball. So hang in there. If you'd like a personal reading, feel free to email me at jinlintarot@gmail.com to inquire about readings. I send you information back and let you know how it works. And if you like the video, hit like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. There goes Artie. Say goodnight, Artie. He's coming up to say goodnight. He's a big boy. He's been a good boy today. He hasn't been in kitty timeout at all today. Okay, thanks. Bye.